Today, we're going to get into the art of influence, the little things people do every single day to get what they want. And nope, it's not magic. It's all just psychology.
You ever wonder about this? I mean, we all know that person, right? The one who just seems to glide through life getting everything they ask for. They don't seem to work as hard, but everyone listens to them. Meanwhile, you're over here, putting in the hours, always being available, and yet you kind of feel invisible.
It's a pretty stark contrast when you lay it out like this. On one side, you've got your reality, you're the dependable one, the helper, and on the other side, there's them, just coasting and collecting all the wins. So, what is going on? What's their secret?
Well, here's the thing. It has absolutely nothing to do with luck. What you're seeing is actually a set of skills, a kind of practical psychology that people use to get ahead. And you know what the best part is? It's something anyone can learn.
So, let's start with the big one. Trust. We're always told it takes years and years to build. But what if I told you that's not exactly true? What if there was a way to basically create it in 5 minutes? So this technique is sometimes called the flight confusion. And the whole idea behind it is that we're all naturally a little defensive, right? If someone comes at you too strong, demanding you trust them or share a secret, your walls go right up. This little trick completely flips that around. And here is the core truth of why this works. We don't bond with people over how perfect they are. Nobody connects with a flawless highlight reel. We connect with each other over our shared vulnerabilities. Perfection is intimidating, but a little weakness, that's human, that's relatable. So here's how you do it. You share something small, a tiny, calculated weakness about yourself, like, man, I get so nervous before I have to give a presentation, my hands actually start to shake. See, by doing that, you're sending a subconscious signal that says, I trust you enough to be vulnerable. And that makes them feel safe. And what happens next is almost like a reflex. They open up and share something back, and a lot of the time, it's way more personal than what you shared. And boom, you've just built a connection. All right, so that's trust. Let's move on to our second technique. This one is all about the single most valuable currency we have today, attention. Think about a slot machine for a second. Why are they so addictive? It's not because you win all the time. In fact, it's because you don't. The prize is totally unpredictable. Our brains get absolutely hooked on that maybe this time feeling. Well, guess what? The exact same thing applies to attention. So here's the playbook. Step 1, you give someone your complete, undivided attention. You make them feel like they are the most fascinating person in the world. Their brain loves this. Then, step 2, you just pull it away. Suddenly you're busy. Your texts are slower. You're not being mean, you're just not available. What you've done is create a void, an empty space where your attention used to be. And that person's own emotions will start to panic, desperate to pull you back in and get that good feeling again. And that right there is the key to this whole thing. You didn't argue with them, you didn't use logic, you just created an emotional vacuum, and their own feelings did all the heavy lifting. It's a massive reminder that, at the end of the day, we are driven by emotion, not logic. Okay, on to our third technique. This one might just be the simplest, most effortless way to get people to do things for you and actually be happy about it. So, just take a look at this number, 97%. That's pretty much the success rate of this technique when you do it right. Why? Because it taps into one of our most basic human needs. It's called the ego stroke. Look, deep down, we all want to feel smart, capable, and respected. This technique plays right into that. You see, you never ask for help because that makes you sound like a burden. Instead, you ask for their expert advice. The way you frame it is everything. The wrong way is begging. Please, can you help me? It's all about your need. But the right way? It turns your request into a huge compliment. You're not asking for a favor. You're acknowledging their unique skill. You're asking for their expertise. It completely changes the power dynamic. And this is the genius of it. This is why it works. They're no longer just helping you with some boring report. They are now performing. They're playing the role of the expert. And they are going to do a fantastic job because they need to protect that smart, capable self-image you just gave them. Okay, let's wrap this up with the one principle that makes all these other techniques even more powerful. Some people call it the greatest weapon of all, silence and scarcity. It's a fundamental law of human nature. We just don't value things that are always available. It's that simple. So if you feel like someone is taking you for granted, complaining is the worst thing you can do. The most effective move? Just reduce your supply.
Limit your time. Use fewer words. Give less attention. You create a little bit of scarcity.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? When you're not giving everything away for free, the things you do say and the time you do give suddenly become a whole lot more valuable.
So there you have it, a few of the hidden forces at play in our everyday lives. And just knowing they exist is the first step. Which leads me to one last question for you to think about. Now that you can see the strings, who do you see pulling them?